And we are live. Welcome back to another show of The Author's Dilemma. It is Thursday night if you're joining us live, and it is whatever day and time it is if you're listening to us in the future. We want to
And if
thank
you're
you
listening
for...
in the past, please tell us more.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yes. We just want to thank you for your time with us. And so I'm J.E. Jack. I write urban fantasy, paranormal thrillers, and I guess a little bit of horror.
I'm Hyrum Hawks, and I write art sci-fi and sci-fantasy.
And I'm Jennifer Carr, and I write Christian romantic suspense and clean contemporary romance.
See, it's funny.
Yes,
No
I
matter
did
how many
almost forget
times
what I write.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I was about to mention that. It's like, I don't know how many times we've done this, but every time you are put on the spot like that, you're like, oh, who am I?
I write something.
Yeah. Jen has it easy because she goes last. I mean, she already like practices like 1, 2. Okay, my turn. I already know.
That's right.
Hers is always so smooth, you know?
Well,
I mean, I can't even keep track of my own children's names. How would I keep track of what genre I am?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know.
Yes, well.
Oh, that's actually a really big tip. I got this from my sister a long time ago, but it applies with your own children or naming characters in books. Don't name them with names that are easily mixed up. Like, I have 2 names among my daughters, and I get them wrong the first time I say it 90% of the time. And yeah, I still, of course, get the ones wrong that are completely different. I'm just special that way. But if you have a Blake and a Bruce in your book, you're going to make people angry because they won't be able to tell the two apart.
That's a good chance.
That's true. Which leads us to our next point. How's our business going? Hiram, what's going on in your business?
Oh, this is what I should have prepared for. What am I doing? I'm almost done with listening to my first book, the Persian Asteroid audiobook. I just have a few more chapters to go, and I really just want to buckle down and do that this weekend. We'll see. But with a full-time business and then 2 kind of side businesses, haven't been doing as much as I'd like. I'm preparing. I've been revising some short stories. I've also been having existential crises about which book to write next because I keep writing new chapters for new books, and I actually have. Tonight is going to be a big night because my writers group meets in a few hours, and we're not doing anything I've written. We are going to take everything I've written that is not finished, and we're going to help me decide which thing to go do, but partly by taking all the ideas and mistborning them. And it's a word I just made up on the spot because Brandon Sanderson, when he wrote Mistborn, he combined basically like 8-10 of his best ideas into one book. And so I'm kind of getting the feeling that none of what I'm writing is strong enough. And that's why I'm stuck. Because my first book was a really good combination of several ideas. Mm-hmm. My second book ended up being a merger of at least 5 or 6 major ideas. And I think all of the rest of my stuff I'm writing right now is really 1 or 2 at most. And they're just not strong enough. So that's the state of my business is.
So it's not strong enough. It's not strong enough to keep you coming back to finish it, or
yes, okay. Exactly. If I can't maintain interest, how can I expect my reader to?
No, that makes total sense. And I have to say that's a pretty amazing group that will actually do that for you and with you. So that's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Jen, what's going on with you?
So that's it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're done now. It's my turn.
I had something else completely, but you're done. No.
My name has been said. Back off. No. This week has been one of those weeks where I'm working on half days only, which is fine. It's good. Also working with half the energy and half the motivation, but it's really funny because I started getting feedback from beta readers at the end of last week, read through it, liked some of it, didn't agree with some of it. That's fine, is what it is. But I will tell you that they did say some things that I was in agreement with that I had been kind of wrestling with as it was. And the emotional detachment that I have when I'm tired has made me a really strong editor, or a really dangerous one, because I texted my editor and said, you wouldn't believe I just cut like 1,200 words. And she was like, you did what? And I said, yeah, like I have no qualms about it. She goes, are you sure? And are they permanent? Like, can you get them back if you change your mind? And I was like, nope. Technically I can. Like, I do have it saved a previous version of it, but I was just like, I don't want them back. I don't. I feel like I cut really good words. And so she's like, we'll see.
Now, is she in the middle of editing that, or is this a new work?
This is the one she's done a developmental edit, and she's done some copy edits there at the beginning, but like I'm working in the middle where it's really muddled.
Okay.
And so that's where we're not really she's not touching that part just yet. And so I have all of July to make all of my changes, and then she gets it permanently until like for the month of August. So
Well, that's interesting. At some point, we'll have to have a discussion on what that process looks like as far as your editing, because like how I, since my wife does it, basically, I here again. That's probably another show, but I'm interested to see how that process works because when I'm done, I'm done. I send it to her, and then she does her magic. Where with you, it sounds like it's kind of like back and forth until it's complete. So that's interesting.
yeah.
That's a different way of doing it.
It is. I like it though because it works. Because the first read is a read through. It's developmental, and then I make some edits, and then the beta readers get it. So it's really not that many back and forths, but it's also my sister, so I'm constantly saying, "Hey, did you read this change that I made? What do you think about it?" And some of it's kind of off the books. It's not like an official edit. It's more of a I need your opinion on something. And so yeah, it'd be like me asking y'all a question sometimes, most of the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know the answer from me.
And dragons.
Yeah.
One day, guys.
Yeah.
You'll be like, wait, what?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And dragons magically appear in this
They lived happily ever
modern day
after.
Christian romance.
Have you read Revelation,
I'm
baby?
totally on board.
There you are. Yeah.
If you read
There's
the Bible,
pestilence,
anything's possible.
and there's All right.
All right, what about you, Josh?
Oh, geez. Well, my day job and my life is going 90 miles an hour. But this past week, my audio book or the audio version of Grave Disturbance, my third book, is now available. So I'm excited about that. That was a pretty quick turnaround once it was, gone to Amazon for, follow-up. It took about 7 days for them to, Q&A on their side. So that's good. And I'm kind of like with Hyrum here. I'm in between projects and I need to get started on the next one because I'm starting to get starved. Like last week I said, just write 500 words a day. Well, you know what's happened since I said that? I haven't written at all.
That's how that works.
Yeah. You get really confident about one thing and then, life comes around and socks you in the face. But the urban fantasy, Lou Giroux, NOPD detective, that should be, my wife is about 90% done with that.
Nice.
And so that should be coming out, well, not coming out anytime soon because I still got to get a cover for it. But, probably within the next 3 or 4 months, that should be available. So that's good. But like I said, I need to start the next project. Otherwise, it's going to get stagnant.
Okay, if I've learned anything from movies, then writers you have to put on some kind of really stylish outfit. You go out into the wilderness and you stare into like a sunset or a sunrise.
No. What I need is an
something.
80s montage.
Yes.
That would do it.
Yes. You're the best around.
Watch some Phineas and Ferb. You'll get plenty of those.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. So
That's so great.
what is going on in the news or the authoring world? Do we know?
I have not been paying attention.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Okay, I have two.
Oh, great.
And one of them will lead us into our topic. So I'll start with the one that will not lead us directly into our topic.
Okay.
So there is this huge debate going on about whether or not authors should dictate what their ARC readers are allowed to post, when they're allowed to post it, etc. And so for instance, an ARC reader being the advanced reader copy, right? And you send it out to them, and some authors are saying you cannot tag me in a post that you post if it's negative. You can't post before the actual book release date if it's less than 4 stars. It's things like that. Like they have these guidelines for their readers saying that you cannot XYZ until XYZ. And so that's one of the big dramas that's going on right now in book world.
I'm just going to say one simple, pithy statement. Beggars can't be choosers. That is all I will say.
My thing would be, I can understand not posting anything before it's released. I get that. but I wouldn't be able to say, I wouldn't be able to like divvy out like, okay, if it's good, only bad only. And then also, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, now I would be, if this person consistently rated me bad, and then I wouldn't use them.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
that would self correct itself. But the whole point is
To
to
be
create
fair,
a good relationship with
Yeah.
your
it
readers.
is. And when I asked for arcs, I said, if you don't like it, I'd be grateful if you don't post, but you are totally, that's your
Right.
choice.
Yeah.
Better yet, yes, you
Just
are.
don't finish it.
I would basically be like with Hyrum on that. Like, hey, if this isn't for you, I would recommend that you, or I'd ask that you don't. You can, but
Yeah.
also please let me know what didn't work.
Yeah.
Help me to be a better writer.
Yeah.
And that's the. And
Well,
honestly,
and
that's
my
how.
one 3-star. Go ahead.
No. That's just it. I mean,
Yeah.
because that's how are we going to get better if people don't let us know? I mean, I can't stand the 3 stars and the 2 stars that don't have a review because I'm like, what happened? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
that's
one
true.
3-star, I was actually grateful for. If people read that, they're going to be like, oh, she didn't like it because it didn't have spice. That means the people that don't want spice will be like, oh,
That's true.
okay, then I'll read it. And the people that do want spice won't waste their time on it because it has no spice.
Yeah.
Fade to black.
I had a 1-star review. At least they left a review, but it was so crazy. It said, gave as a gift. And I'm like,
What?
yeah. I'm like, all right. I guess I'll take that.
Okay. Thank you for
Yeah.
taking the time
Oh,
to do
I think I know what that means. That means they read it, they hated it, and so they gave it away.
That's when
Well,
you say
geez, you know
donated
what?
it to the thrift store.
I
like-
would I'd rather it be ambiguous. I'd rather,
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
Sorry. The mystery kept you alive. I'm sorry. I like
It's like that wedding gift that you got that you don't care about that you rewrap and give it to some other.
What are you talking about?
Literally a white elephant.
I totally rewrapped it and gave it to my in-laws. I was like, "Oh, y'all will love this." It's
And they're
so
like,
great.
wait, didn't we give this to you? And they're like, oh, wait.
Wrong gift. Sorry, hold on. My bad.
All right. So,
Yeah.
Jen, what is the other news that segues?
All right, so there is an author. I'm not going to use her name, but you can search for any of these things that I'm about to
What does
say.
it rhyme with?
No. So she scored a deal. She had 8 agents want her to work with her. And then she landed a traditional publishing deal, a rather large one for 2 books. Something happened at the time of book release on the publisher's end. It was kind of a flop, and she opted not to really do any marketing. And so the book didn't go anywhere. It didn't take off or anything like that. And now, less than a year later, she is charging $500 for the insider secrets to querying, landing an agent, getting a book deal, all of these things. She is charging $500 for people to learn things that can't really be taught, right? She was in the right place at the right time. She got lucky when it came to her book deal. And so anyway, she is... And it's all free information that if you do a Google search, you will find exactly what she's offering in her courses on free blogs and websites and stuff like that. So, yeah. And I'm not going to say that it's necessarily a scam, but...
It's got the flavor.
Well, the thing is okay, so she's only got 1 book?
Yes, as far as I know, all that has released now is the one of the 2 for the book deal.
I'll be honest. I mean, some people are and no offense to them, but some people are so low information that they don't know how to find information.
Sure.
That's why whenever someone like you've seen me in our Discord, sometimes y'all will post different things, and I'll immediately go like, "What? They only have like one. They only have 1 star. They only
You're
have
a
like."
skeptic, yes.
No, I'm skeptic on everything. So I trust but verify everything that I see.
Yes.
So I'm always looking for reviews. I'm always looking for. But I will say this: there is something to be said for even if the information's already out there. There is something to be said for gathering it and putting it into a resource for people that would shorten the time of learning. I mean, there's been many courses I've bought that, yes, I've spent quite a bit of money on, and yes, I could have probably found it on my own, but it shortened the time. So instead of taking 6 months to learn it, it took me 2 weeks because, yes, I paid for the convenience of it. So
But
I could see that aspect.
were you learning technical things that you didn't understand, as opposed to things that can't really be taught and guarantee success, which is what I think what qualifies as a scam is the quality,
The
like,
scam
you
is
know,
the guarantee.
yeah, like saying, I can give you insider secrets. You can't. There's no insider secret. You write a good query letter, it gets to the right person when they're in a good mood on the right day. Like, that's not how that works. It's not just an insider secret. Now, maybe she can teach you how to write a good query letter, but that's not $500 worthy.
No. Well, that does lead right into our topic,
But
which is
but then again, I
author
don't know.
scams.
I don't know because I can see no because depending on the market she's targeting, and now she could be totally crap, but
Yeah.
but I do understand the transference of wealth idea. So you can take two pairs of jeans, you can go to Walmart and pay $20, and those pair of jeans, if you get them scuffed up or whatever, you don't care. They're $20. But now I'll never do this, but some people buy $400 pair of jeans. They will not do anything in those jeans,
Right.
because the transference of wealth of $400 went into the same material that cost $20, and so it's one of those, like, because there's been times I spent a lot of money, granted, for something that how long is the course?
I did not click any deeper than just
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it really just depends on the quality and the length, I guess. I don't know. I just have a different view on things, I guess.
Well, there are things
I'm not saying
that
it's
are
good.
borderline.
Right.
There's question. The question isn't necessarily, in my mind, it's not whether or not the quality is there. It's whenever you say there's a guarantee in life.
Right.
I'm a skeptic of anyone who says they can guarantee an outcome. Guarantee an income, like an input of information, great. This thing provides information.
Yes.
But even like the greatest teachers of writing, like David Farland, who taught Brandon Sanderson, taught Twilight Lady, I can't remember her name, found Harry Potter. I mean, he was the top of his game at the teaching of writing. Nothing guaranteed. He says sometimes it's just luck. Sometimes, there's things you can do, but no, if you're guaranteeing an outcome, and that's what I see in most author scams.
Right.
Which
real
how
quick,
many a week?
Tonight's topic.
Yes.
Yes. So the meat and potatoes of tonight's conversation is scams. We all see them. Lord knows we all get them. Either in our instant message, which I've had to turn off because I got so sick and tired of it. Our emails, which just as bad, and so now we can get back into the conversation.
There we go.
So I think we got, I don't know if we still get, because I don't check that email, you guys check that email, but our Author's Dilemma gets regular emails that are probably bots saying, we were listening to your amazing podcast, and we can make it go from X number, which isn't even probably the right number, to be the number one on whatever platform. And I'm like, yay, I doubt you. But there's so many types of scams like this that it's hard to be specific, and it's hard to even begin, because I'm going to share one that happened to my grandma. Now, this is over a decade ago, but the scams are now more online. So this is back when the internet was not quite as prevalent, and grandmas weren't as easy to scam online because they weren't online. I was working remotely. I often traveled, but someone called my grandma with an accent of some kind, not a local, and said I was in a Mexican prison. Now, I was not. I was at that moment about 10 minutes away across town. She didn't know that because she knew I traveled.
It's interesting that you live a life that she would even, that would even cross her mind. Oh, he might be in a Mexican prison. What the?
I think I was in Nigeria earlier that year. So yes, it's entirely possible. It wouldn't have been because of anything I did. It would have been more for,
Right.
They like the bribes. They like to get the money from the rich American.
Right.
So
That's true.
she, talking to the guy, she was starting to panic. Happily, her brother was there. He called me And so I answered my phone and said, "What's up?" And he's like, "Are you in a Mexican prison?" I'm like, "No, I'm at Walmart."
Oh, weird question. Hey,
sort
bro.
of. I'm in Walmart.
Depends on which city, but
Yeah.
no, I was in Utah.
And that's totally
I
okay.
was not.
That's totally okay. by the way. I just-
Absolutely.
So that kind of scam is a pretty sophisticated one. It has to have a really smooth talking person on the other end of the phone, someone who can adapt. There are a lot lower sophistication ones, but now AI is getting involved. And
Yeah.
it's getting better at spelling. Because we used to be able to detect scams
Yes.
just by the spelling.
Well, now I can see, like, if it says kindly anywhere in there, it's like,
Anywhere.
Or
Yeah.
treasure trove.
well, that's AI. But the kindly, it's like, yeah.
English is not the first language, and you
No.
can tell. Yeah, no. I have fun with them sometimes, though. But I think also it's a lot of the targets that they're falling for the scams. They're older. I will also say that a lot of them fall into the, I don't want to say naive genres, but
Well,
the naive
that's true.
genres.
I think
they
it's
fall into
naive
it.
plus hope. together.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. And I mean, and
Which
they
is
want
why
to trust
authors
everybody.
are that group. We are
Right.
naive and we have hope. We are.
I have
little
no idea what I'm
delusional.
doing. Please help me. Not like that.
Yeah,
but not,
we are a
not like
little
that.
delusional because we're authors. Because we wrote. We spent enough time to write possibly 100,000 word thing or more, and now we're like, can someone please help me? I need this to be read.
Well, it's one of those things that you're right. I mean, you spend so much time and effort into creating this piece of work that you should expect that it would do something. They would go somewhere or whatever. And when it doesn't, it creates such a frustration that you really do start grabbing at straws. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that prey on that. And honestly, being on Instagram or being on, and it's not just authors, it's anybody that's online that's trying to create a platform, influencers, things of that nature. So yeah, and it's annoying. I mean, it's highly annoying, and it's every time I get something like that, I just want to write back and say, your God is displeased with you. Like we're gods, whatever. It's like
Right.
it's like,
What if they are their own god?
well, they're displeased
I
with
mean,
themselves.
listen, I have the best time with some of them. Like, I just sit there and I'll have conversations and I'll let them talk, and they want to sell me their marketing, and they want to. They're like, oh, I did have somebody say, I read your book. It was a fantastic book. Da, da, da. And I said, oh, which book did you read? They said, The Author's Dilemma. And I said,
That's right. Yeah, I remember that one.
I was like, that's not a book. It's a podcast. They're like, oh, well, which one is your book? And I'm like, you've already lied to me. When did I lie to you? You said you read my book. Anyway, like, it's like,
No.
oh,
Well, no. What was funny is along the same lines that happened to I think me or us or the Author's Dilemma show. Like they reached out like, oh, I loved your book. Oh, well, which one? Author's Dilemma, and it's like, well, that's a podcast. Oh, well, I'm a podcast influencer too. Or it's like, okay, dude.
shocking.
Yeah, amazing. And delete spam.
Right. And
But-
so you have to be, just don't trust, do your research. And I have an auto respond message on my messenger that says, if you're here to sell me something, I will not respond. Like, I'm just not going to. If you want to talk about anything else, by all means. But if somebody's coming to me to talk to me about my work or whatever, they're going to start their message with, Jennifer, I loved da, 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 or I really would love to, or what, they're going to, it's going to be personal.
Yeah, or they develop over time.
Yes.
Right? They develop that relationship, kind of like
Yes.
like if Jen and I just started talking one day on TikTok, like immediately like, hey, let's do a podcast. You'd be like, no,
That's weird.
you're a weirdo guy.
It took us. Relationships take time to build.
It does.
In any group, not just like anytime that you go on a date, and the guy is proposing by the end of the first date.
A red
You're
flag.
like, something's
Red
a
flag.
little wrong here.
Yeah.
All the red flags.
And
Yes.
yeah, that's the
I've
same
heard
thing
it. I've
goes
heard
with
it.
everything.
I've heard it referenced like there's a difference between transactional versus relational
Yes.
relationships. Transactional is one time, and you can definitely tell like some of these emails and some of these people that reach out, you can definitely tell that they don't care. It's like it's all about immediacy. I can help you now, whatever. they don't provide any value. They don't
Right.
give you any value. Like, I would like an email we got from one of our listeners telling us, hey, I did this for years. You should try doing this. And it's like, man, thanks. And it was very helpful. And we started implementing that. And thank you so much.
And if it had been something where we didn't have the skill set for it at that point, because he pointed it out and he was professional and he didn't solicit us, he said, this is something you should do. We could have considered, you think we should hire that guy to do it for us?
Which we're broke, so we're not going to.
We're sorry.
But
yes.
maybe around
Someday.
episode maybe around episode 125 maybe, but right now we're at episode 25 or 24, excuse me.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Oh yeah.
So
what are the scams?
Exactly. That's what I was going to next.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yes, so the list of scams is extensive, but I think it can be boiled down to, like, there is editor scams, there is cover scams, there are publisher scams. Those are the three biggest I've seen. But there is also some beta or ARC scams, and so I think each one of those should be considered briefly.
Okay.
So I know the publisher one's pretty
And digital marketing.
Right.
yes,
So-
marketing scams.
Okay, so let's start with publishing.
Yeah, publishing. I've seen this one the most.
Right.
Vanity Press is approaching.
That's it.
And it's so heartbreaking too, because you got these people who are like, I got this book, and these people are charging me $4,000, and I'm like, oh my
For
god,
what?
yeah. Oh, they're going to put it up on Amazon. You can do it yourself for free.
Yep.
For free.
For free. It takes 10 minutes.
Yep.
It takes 3 months to write your book, but it takes 10 minutes to get it online.
Anybody
And-
can publish a book.
Anybody can do it, and so it's really, and unfortunately, there's one company out there called Amazon Publishing Company that a lot of people fall
Yeah.
for.
Yep.
It's a total
good
scam.
Lord.
Yep.
And it's like, well,
If
it's
you see
Amazon.
that
It's like,
run-
no, it's not. Or a Kindle or a Kindle
This is
Business
actually
or
a very
whatever.
important thing for people to understand. If there is a company name, you can incorporate. I could incorporate right now in Utah, and if it is not identical to some other company name in Utah, I can get that company name.
Yeah.
And it is a legal corporation or LLC or whatever. So don't trust a
Amazing
name by itself.
Amazon Publishing Company. I got an idea. Got an idea. No.
Ooh.
But like I said, if you're going to get published, one, they're going to you submit your books to them. They're not going to come out of the blue looking, because good Lord, everybody knows that they're everybody's sending their books to them,
Yes.
and you're not going to have to pay anything.
Yeah.
If you
Now,
get
with a caveat, there are some vanity publishers that are kind of a hybrid, where there are authors that claim great success, that they sell a lot of books, but they have to put up a lot of the money to start, but then there are contracts. So that is the exception.
Now,
Those
hybrid
are
is
hard to
different,
find.
though. Hybrid
Yeah,
is
but it's a
different
hybrid.
because
It's like
hybrid, it's
the
not
mix.
vanity, because hybrid provides editing, cover design, and
Yes.
And
that's
additional
sorry,
marketing.
I misspoke. It's not
Yeah.
actually, it isn't vanity, but it isn't trad. It's
Right.
the in between.
and
You're
those do
paying
cost
something-
money. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, but you get
you're
something.
paying for actual value.
There you go. Yeah.
well, I
So
guess at some point
if you
we
aren't
need
getting
to-
value, don't do it.
Right. So I guess, well, now I'm kind of not confused. Well, I am confused between, okay, so a vanity press versus a hybrid.
Vanity is the name. You're literally putting a name on your cover that says published by. They do nothing except you've paid for their name. So it sounds like you have a publisher. That is it. Hybrid, it is a company. It is, and there are different levels of quality, which is true for everybody. But there are some really good ones out there, because not everybody can find an editor on their own. Not everybody can find a cover designer on their own. So hybrid press is sometimes, publishing is sometimes the way to go, because they hold your hand. You get, say, not as much as you would as an indie, but you get, say, there's a lot of back and forth with the publisher and the author. But it does cost, because you're paying for the editor.
So I
and all
guess
that
there's
stuff.
varying levels of hybrid, because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you're not going traditional as far as the big five or big three or whatever there is now. Like my concept of hybrid is still the same, where you don't pay for anything, but they have a contract with you, and they they do all the other stuff, and you just kind of, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's different ways, or there's varying levels of hybrid.
The tragedy is that today there is no such thing as trad publishing anymore because
No,
you
that's
do your own
true.
marketing.
Oh, exactly.
That's
I mean,
true.
what's the point of doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Go
That's
through
why,
so many.
I think that's why
yeah.
there's none of us are trad published because
Right.
none of us are like see any benefit.
Right.
Not right now, anyway.
Nope.
Okay, so what's next? You got we kind of covered that.
I'd say the services, we can lump most of them into services scams.
Right.
I will provide this for you, and those are valid, but they come out of the blue. The scam
Yeah.
is almost always because the services are offered to you,
Yeah.
and not you seeking out the services.
Yeah.
My editor, in every case, has been someone I personally sought out, looked at reviews, looked at work samples, and hired on my own. I've gotten so many emails offering these services, whether it's editor, whether it's a book cover designer, whatever service you need, even pagination. It's really, sometimes people just aren't that good at formatting a book.
yeah.
I'm really good at Word, so I can do it. I've been using Word since since Word was invented. But at this point, I'm old. You might need help on it. Don't let them come to you. That's the way to avoid this scam.
Yeah.
You go to them.
Yep.
And go to cons. You'll meet editors. You'll
Yes.
meet people. You'll meet authors who have editors that they're paying for a reasonable price, and you can do that. You can use Upwork, you can use Fiverr, you can use some of those. You're going to get lower quality most of the time, but you might get the diamond in the rough and get a pretty reasonable edit for a reasonably low cost from someone in Croatia. Don't ask me how I know that. But
It's very
you're going to get
specific.
scammed if you let the solicitation come to you.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
And usually it's too good to be true, right? I mean, it's like
Always.
we will. Oh, and then like you said, they will provide. We will, guarantee results. Guaranteed results are like the number one big thing because they can't guarantee
can't.
results. And then also going back to like, you also got to be careful with some of those because you might be inadvertently going against terms of service with whatever
Ooh,
with whatever platform you're on.
that's true.
So yeah.
Very true.
Oh yeah, that is a kind of scam. Again, it's a solicitation scam. They will offer, I will ARC read for you for a cost. You
Yeah.
cannot pay for ARC and be on Amazon
Yep.
or
Yeah.
most any publisher. Like distributor, I should say, not publisher. Amazon is not a publisher; it is a distributor. And you're the publisher. Sparkling Draconic Unicorn Publishing is my imprint. That is my book. Amazon doesn't have their name on my book anywhere, except if they printed it, it has a little insert page that says printed on this press.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the publisher.
That's true. Yep. You do have to be careful. Terms of service. We have a whole episode about that. Just FYI.
That's right.
Yes.
Which I
Because
can't
that can be a
remember.
scam.
I can't remember which number it is, but you
I
can
can't
go watch
remember.
all of
Yeah.
them, and then you'll get across it at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Okay, now the other scam that I think is the most insidious for our more naive people, which tend to be my grandma and people like her, is the notifications on Facebook
Oh gosh.
and other things. And Facebook was the worst. You make your Facebook profile, and suddenly I was getting notifications from Facebook, like whatever. There were
Your
so many
account's gonna
names
be
that
deleted.
the marketplace itself was contacting. Yes, never believe those. They are all scams.
The first time I got one, I was traveling and it happened through my phone, and I clicked on the link and I logged in, and then immediately I'm like, oh crap. So I quickly changed my password and fixed it. Thank God. But yeah, no, I mean, it was because it was the first time I ever saw it. And like I said, I was traveling, and so I didn't have my computer to really delve into it. And yeah, I mean, it can get you if you're not aware.
Yeah, no,
Or if you
they
fat
will.
finger it, you can accidentally fat finger it
Yeah, that too.
because some of us have big hands.
Facebook will email you though. They're not going to send it to your messenger.
Right.
They're not going to start their message with "Hello, dear," which has been really. I'm like, "Hello, dear." Zuckerberg has hired some very polite workers. If this is what's going on, like,
Bless
"Hello,
their
dear."
heart.
kindly, you are.
Kindly, your account will be deleted.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's the same flavor of scam as the people that would send you emails saying, "This is the IRS. We are currently driving to arrest you."
Yeah. Thanks for the
No,
heads
you're
up.
not.
Yeah.
See ya.
Well,
Is that how it works, Josh?
Since I'm
you know
a
the
federal law
police.
enforcement officer, I would love for them to come to my house and be like, yes, oh, you are okay.
All right,
Let's
sounds
meet up.
great. Here's my address. Come on.
What is my address? Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Right. We're coming to arrest you. Could you please send us your address?
Yes.
That's how you know it's a scam, okay?
Right.
Great. That's the other thing. They will know about you. Like that they should know about you before my book is not the author's dilemma. I have several others. That's not one of them. They should know what your work is. And that's something that, you can tell. You can tell when they're trying to get around and kind of BS their way into your work. So
Or they don't answer your question, and they
Or
just
they
keep
don't
on
answer your
going with
question.
whatever their
Yes.
spiel is. Like, hey,
I,
so what one did
I
you
used
like?
the trick.
Yeah.
I was talking with what I assumed was a bot because they were answering so fast. This was actually for customer service. So I approached them, but I was getting annoyed because they were answering so fast. I said, "If you're not a bot, say potato." And they wrote back, "Potato, yes, I'm not a bot. I just have a script. I have to just control V." Oh, okay. So there are tricks like that. If you ask someone to say a word that is nonsensical in that scenario, AI can't do it.
That's funny.
It doesn't comprehend. If you say, "Tell me your favorite Lord of the Rings character," the AI chatbot in that server is not going to know. So I've never watched that, but then you know they're just not human. But
Wow, that's all right.
Yep.
So, is there any others that we have not? Well, I mean, there's plenty, but
There are plenty. Yeah, we are kind of cruising
I
into
would I would recommend at this point everything else fits into the broader category of spam and phishing schemes and clickbait. Please go watch a video on that. You can I get trained every year on that from my work. Those are very useful. It's the same principles. Don't click links. Don't trust someone who's offering you something too good to be true, and always assume that unless you are expecting it, don't open attachments.
right. Something else I always do is sometimes, like when I get an email on my phone, that's one thing I can't stand about emails is they don't show the email address. They just say, it's like highlighted, but I will go in there and see what the actual email is.
Yes.
And
Open it up all the way.
Yes. And then being the law enforcement officer, I review who is this person or what is this business? Is it a real person? So it's just, if it's something that piques my interest, I make sure trust but verify, basically.
Yes. Yes.
And if it is out of the blue, just repeating that, you can avoid getting scammed 99% of the time if you do the soliciting for who you want to hire, not let them solicit you.
Right.
Yeah. And look for reviews, like legit ask people, find other authors that is, you know another author. And if they don't know, then ask somebody else or get them to ask somebody else that they know. But get the word of mouth out there and talk to somebody that actually knows. Don't message and email and all that stuff because you don't know who you're talking to when you just start sending emails and messages. So talk to a real person.
That's true.
That helps.
All
and
right.
not everyone from a foreign country is a scammer, but they are
Just 90%.
overrepresented. They are overrepresented in our inbox. It's true.
Yeah,
it's
true.
I'm kidding.
No,
All right. So we are at 39 minutes, and I think we probably kind of covered that a lot. I can't even talk tonight. If you do have any questions, be sure to reach out to us at authorsdilemma@gmail.com. We'd be more than happy to either reply and try to go more in depth if we didn't cover it, or if you can think of something else that we didn't cover that we need to, by all means, please reach out to us. Other than that, we appreciate your time, and we will see you next week. Oh wait, who do we have next week?
Kay Ross is next week.
Yeah, new author.
We have a new author named Kay Ross, so that should be exciting. All right,
Yes.
we'll see you then. Take care and God bless.
Bye.
Bye.